So today we're going to be talking about resignation letters. A resignation letter is simply a formal document that you would hand off to your employer to indicate your departure from the organization. We're going to talk about when to send it, what to say, how to format it, and then most importantly, how to deliver it in a way that's going to preserve your relationship with your company. Now, I'm frequently asked, is 2 weeks an appropriate amount of time to submit your resignation letter before you actually leave your organization? And by and large, the answer is yes, a minimum of 2 weeks. Particularly if you are in a leadership role, I would lean closer to a month. The more time that you can give your employer to backfill your role and find someone to replace you, the better off you're going to be. Now, I know that you may be in a situation where you just want to leave your company, and it seems like there might be a sense of urgency behind that for you. But what I can share with you is that it will be worth the investment of time to make sure that you craft an appropriate resignation letter and submit it well enough in advance so that you preserve that relationship with your company. Even if it's something that you don't want to be a part of anymore, it's going to serve you well in the long run, and it's just going to create a relationship between you and your employer that is left on a really good note. Should you come in contact with any of your colleagues down the line, you just want to make sure that you're in a good spot there. Now, if you're interested in further advice on when to actually submit your resignation letter, click on this link right up here for more information. So what do you say in your letter of resignation? Well, the first thing that I want you to do is put together a statement of intent. And this is very simple. The only thing that you have to do is include the statement, I am resigning from my position at your organization. And then I want you to indicate what day. It could sound something like this. Please accept this letter as my formal resignation from my position as a talent acquisition specialist at ABC Company. My last day is going to be Friday, May 29th, 2 weeks from today. Now, you have complete control as to what other information you put inside of this resignation letter. If you want to elaborate further and provide detail as to why you're leaving the company, you certainly have the right to do that, but you are not required to do so. So if you do feel that providing some sort of context or reason could help you out in the future, maybe for a future reference, whatever it might be, then go ahead and submit that information, but don't feel pressured to include that if you don't want to. Common reasons that people do resign from their jobs are going back to school. It could be a change in career path. Maybe you're wanting to focus more on your family. An expression of gratitude. This is arguably, in my opinion, one of the most important concepts to remember when crafting a good resignation letter. Leaving on good terms is so important. And so what I would encourage you to do is really indicate to your employer why you are grateful for the opportunity that you had, and then something that you learned at the organization. Now, if you're struggling to find something positive to say because, again, maybe you're just ready to hit the road and get out of there, what I would encourage you to do is maybe then focus on something specific that you were able to take away from the role. Could this be a specific project that you worked on? Maybe you had the opportunity to come across a mentor that you wouldn't have met otherwise. Or maybe that you learned something new about your industry or about your sector because of your time at this organization. All of these things are on the table and fair game to play so that you can still walk away from the opportunity and close that book feeling good about yourself, your performance, and the relationship that you've made now that you've moved on to something else. An example expression of gratitude could look something like this. I'm grateful for the opportunity to learn from a team of seasoned recruiters, and this experience has helped me learn how to best support candidates from the beginning to the end of the hiring process, and I greatly value the experiences I had while working with you and your team. So offering to assist with the transition. So when you do vacate your existing role, it is going to create some stress for your team, particularly your leader, because there's going to be someone that is needed to pick up your work. Now, you are in no way responsible for backfilling your role or assisting with the transition. But if it is something that you are willing and able to do, I personally think that it is a very classy and timeless move to assist with this process and really contribute to your legacy after you've left. Now, if you are willing and able to help in this area, in your letter of resignation, something that you can do is indicate how you're going to be able to support. So maybe this is hiring your replacement. Or if there is some overlap of time, maybe this is you training the individual, in the actual role itself so that they can ask questions and feel as though they got a bit of a ramp up from you personally. If this is not an option because you've already left to pursue other endeavors, maybe what you do is leave behind some sort of a training document that encompasses, the projects that you've worked on, or maybe, specific important clients that you need them to be aware of. Anything in this arena is going to be helpful for not just them, but your former team as well. And like I said, I personally do believe that this is a really wonderful way to leave a legacy at your former organization by just stepping up to assist someone else in the new role. An example of how this could look in a resignation letter is something like this. In an effort to make this transition as smooth as possible, I intend to continue building a recruitment pipeline of potential candidates. I can then delegate all other responsibilities to the appropriate team members upon your approval. For more information on how you can best spend your time after you submitted that letter of resignation, click on this link right up here. How do you format your resignation letter? So keep in mind that this is a business document and we just want it to be as professional as possible. The easiest way to do this is to use a very simple font like Times New Roman, Arial, Calibri, and you want to always keep it at about 11 or a 12-point font. Starting at the top of the letter, I want you to include your contact details. So name, phone number, a good email address that can be used after you've left the organization. And then what I want you to do is begin the letter by addressing an individual person that you're going to be sending this to. So if it's your existing leader, or maybe it's a senior leader that you're going to be sending this to, just make sure that you begin the letter with a Mr. or a Miss sentiment, or if you are on a first name basis, that's completely appropriate to use as well. Now, within the body of the letter, just as a quick recap, I want you to begin with your statement of intent. I want you to then follow that up with your expression of gratitude or why the experience was meaningful to you. And then I want you to offer any sort of detail that you can on assisting with the transition if you feel that that's something that you'd like to do. And then in closing, I want you to make sure that you sign off in the most professional and graceful way as possible. So use keywords like, sincerely, thank you, best regards, anything in this arena to just add some warmth to the letter. And then I want to make sure that you sign the letter as well. So maybe that's just choosing a cursive type of a font for this, but this will just solidify the letter itself and make it as legitimate as you can in a digital environment. Now, when you are sending it via email, all you need to do in that subject line is just make sure that you include the word resignation dash and maybe either your name or the position that you're going to be resigning from itself. So how to best deliver a resignation? This is a sensitive conversation to have, and there could be some nerves going into it. So a couple of ideas for you. Before you actually submit your letter of resignation, my personal recommendation is to sit down with your manager face-to-face or Zoom to Zoom and just have a conversation and tell them the news. This is going to be good for your manager to maybe congratulate you, or maybe just simply to better ask questions as to why you're leaving. It's very possible that they may understand why you're leaving for a new opportunity, especially if they understand and support your career aspirations. Something else that you want to make sure that you do in this conversation is just solidify a date of departure. You might have a specific date in mind, but they may offer incentive or reasoning as to why they want you to leave at a different date. So just confirm those details with your manager and then make those adjustments in your resignation letter if you need to. Now remember, you don't need to disclose the reason why you're leaving if you don't want to. A great manager is going to understand why you are leaving, especially if you do decide to share that information. However, something just to be mindful of is that there might be pressure on that manager from senior leadership to better understand why you are actually leaving the company. So if there are details that you don't want the company at large to know, that's okay. But I would definitely maybe keep them close to the heart, just so that you aren't walking away having revealed too much information that could hurt you in the long run about your departure. So there you have it. As a quick recap, I just want to make sure that we are leaving our opportunity with grace and with dignity. And so to do that effectively, here are the 4 main components to keep in mind when it comes to submitting a resignation. You want to give at least a 2 weeks notice. You want to share a statement of intent, an expression of gratitude, and then offer up any sort of assistance that you can provide with the transition. Use a formal business format for the actual letter itself. Notify your manager in person before you submit your formal resignation letter. If you liked this video and think that others would benefit from it as well, definitely feel free to like and subscribe. We've got more videos like it. Other than that, though, I just want to wish you the best of luck in your next endeavor. If you are in a place of needing to resign from your organization for whatever reason, I want you to know that that is okay. If you need anything else from us, please let us know. Connect with us on social media. All of our information is going to be listed below, and we wish you the best of luck. Take care.